Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the new Jackwolf Knives Steel Series K9 Jack. We're going to give away the July 2025 Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife, compliments of Three Dog Knife and Northern Knives. And we're going to talk about what knives you're going to pass down to the next generation, whether you have kids or whether you have nieces and nephews or just a neighbor whose kid you like. What do you want to pass down? What do you think is worthy of passing down? I'm pretty sure pretty much everything, even the cheapest, most cheesy knives, will last a long time because they're made out of stainless steel and all sorts of plastic type composite materials. So, I mean, that stuff doesn't just go away. But we talk about heirloom quality. What do you consider heirloom quality? And maybe G10 and micarta doesn't count to you. Maybe it's just got to be metal, just got to be titanium. In any case, we will talk all about that. Hope you guys are doing well. Had a whirlwind of a day, and it's nice to finally settle down and be able to talk with you guys. It was so hot and buggy outside where I was tonight for one of my daughter's games. Marco, good to have you here, sir. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies, he says. Good evening to you, sir. Carino 1, greetings, Jim, Bob, and fellow junkies. Greetings to you, Carino. No children here, so it's going to be a killer estate sale one day. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, what do you hope people pick up and pass along to their next gens? Let's see. Trent Costello, nice to have you here, Trent. My grandson gets them all, but the Case Copper Lock collection will probably have him like, but why? Bought them long ago. Even I have moved on from folders now. Yeah. There's no accounting for taste, as they say. And sometimes there's just something like a Case Copper Lock collection would be really cool. That's such a cool model. So there's just no telling what you might end up with. And, maybe Trent, you'd be surprised what your grandson would say about that. Ground Fog, nice to have you here, sir, as always. OG Blade Reviews. Dave, how you doing, sir? Happy Thursday, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. 4 grandkids, 2 boys, 2 girls. Awesome. We'll have to fight over them, much to the chagrin of their parents. I grew up in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. I love the word chagrin. Yeah, they will. They'll have a fight. Rolando, good to have Rolando Escotado with us. All 200 plus is going to one person, but they don't know it yet. How awesome. How awesome. Oh, by the way, guys, my Instagram has been suspended. So if you're trying to reach me on Instagram, I've made an appeal. I did the whole thing where you got to put your face up and they take basically a mugshot of you. And we'll see if they find it in their hearts to let me back into the fold. But for some reason, all of a sudden, having not posted in a long time, they've decided I've violated some community guidelines. So Mark Zuckerberg, I'm waiting on him. I've made my appeal. So if you're trying to get in touch with me there and you have my phone number or my email, do it there for now. Have a nice day. Nice to have you. Have a nice day. Remember to click subscribe. That's a great idea because we have an offer, a giveaway at 50,000 subs. And that is from our good friend Dirk Pinkerton, who says he wants to make us a custom knife for a 50,000 sub giveaway. And this is not just to a Gentleman Junkie. This is to anyone who is subscribed and here on Thursday Night Knives when that happens. And we'll have to figure out how we can weed out the subscribers to the non-subscribers. I mean, it'd be pretty lame to not subscribe and then get in the running to win a knife like this. This is one, or this is the Razorback, or maybe it's the Matador, named by me because I think it looks like a Spanish sword. But so these 2 knives here are representative of what you stand to gain. So yes, hit subscribe. Thank you very much. Doug, nice to have Doug Bowl with us. Good to have you here, sir. Hi, Bob, Jim, and all the group. Hello to you, sir. I keep this close at hand all the time in case someone needs to be knocked upside the head. David Nephilim Slayer, good to have you here, David. Ultimately, all of them, as I am only a caretaker How about that? So he's a steward of his knives, not an owner. Um, I see what you mean. I mean, all of these things that we collect here are, um, you know, will last longer than our flesh. Flesh. Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Doug Bowl says, I haven't had my father's 7-inch Bowie restored. He made out of a World War II P-38 fighter built in 1942 during the war. Will be given to my son. How cool. P-38 is the coolest airplane from World War II. That and a P-51 Mustang, of course, but the P-38, that's that dual fuselage. And that was from the early days of, Lockheed Martin has always been on the cutting edge as far as airplanes are concerned. And even back then, that P-38 was from them, and it was so cool. It had a huge effect on the war, apparently, as did the P-51. Be cool to have either one of those, Jay Demeter, or to be able to fly. Good to have you here, Jay. Aloha, Bob and Junkies. Aloha to you, Jay. Hope you're doing well. Watch and cut, man. How's it going? Good to have you here, sir. Quick drop in. Hello to you, Bob. One of the earliest viewers of Thursday Night Knives, man. It's good to have you here. I need to catch up with you. It's been a long time. Michael Elliott, nice to have you here, Michael. Happy Thursday night, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Michael's a recent Gentleman Junkie, and it's good to have him here with us. Scott, hey there, you beautiful beast. Well, Scott, good to have you, man, with your helmet and your sword and the whole nine. I think that's cool. I'll leave my kids my Wilburns when I get them. Oh, Wilburn Forge? Oh, dude. Yes, that would be nice. I'd love to have a Wilburn Forge. I just don't have that kind of scratch laying around, frankly. Benedict Odie, nice to have you here, Ben. Howdy all, Bob, Jim. Great topic tonight. Well, I'm interested, Benedict. What do you think? Parched. Jerry C. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and brother junkies. Good to have you here, Jerry. I hope everyone is doing well tonight and staying cool. I am now that I'm down here. Hey, brother, Mangana Steel. We have Sharif Manganas. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing well and thriving. I am indeed, sir. I hope you too are doing well and thriving. I've been carrying this like it's going out of style, and I'll have you know it's not going out of style. Everyone loves this knife, most of all me. This is one of my absolute favorites of all time. So there you go. Bob, I got to show you my SR-71 skins I have on my wall. Ooh, that would be cool. I love the SR-71. And, it's the first time I ever heard of titanium was the SR-71 with its leaky fuel tanks and all that. Such a cool plane. Strings, nice to have you here, Strings. What's up, brother Bob, Jim, and all you knife junkies? Looking forward to another awesome Thursday Night Knives. I will pass down my Rockstead Higo 2 to my boy, along with my Rolex Date Just. Man, I want a Rolex. The more time goes by, and it's not the branding. Well, maybe it's partially the branding, but they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful. And I have my favorites. I like the Yacht Master, because I am the master of my yacht, and and I love the Air King. They're beautiful watches. Alex, nice to have you here. Alex Kerber. I'm too young to be thinking about that. Well, good then. I mean, I'm glad to hear you're young. At some point, it'll come. And if all goes according to plan, God willing, you will have that question. So what do you think it might be right now? Or being a young person, assuming you're a man, being a young man, what would you want coming to you, say from your grandpa or something like that? Bobtism, good to have you here, man. Hey, all. Well, hello to you, Bob. What's in the name except greatness? Adrian Fighter 35, nice to have you here. Another Gentleman Junkie who stands to win tonight. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Hope everyone is having a great evening. Tonight's topic is a good one. I'm going to have to think about it, says Adrian. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and the better half are doing well. I'm going to put this away. Love this Wallace Bowie. This thing is so awesome. Ryan Lynch. man, it's raining Gentleman Junkies. Evening, Bob, Jim. Yeah, Ryan. Evening, Bob and Jim hanging with Ben Odie on my deck tonight. How cool! Oh, that's right. That's right. You guys live close to each other. Talking knives, enjoying a cigar, and some libations. That sounds absolutely lovely, man. That sounds awesome. I'd love to be smoking and drinking right now. Jay Demeter says, I have 4 granddaughters and 1 grandson. I believe that boy would win. Yeah, save something for the granddaughters. Girls like knives, turns out. Mangana Steel, Rolex is like a Chris Reeves. Yeah, you're right. It's the watch like the knife we all promise ourselves we'll get and realize we shouldn't have waited when we get them. Yeah, they're just so freaking expensive, dude. I got girls to put through school and then college. Maybe we should pull them out. It's time you start learning from the world. Jammin' Parker, nice to have you here, Jammin'. Boy, we are jamming with Gentleman Junkies. Maybe that's the right time to pull this out. Evening, fellas, he says. Evening to you, Jammin'. This is what you stand to win tonight. Lone Star Dowboy, good to have you here. Carry of the day, CJRB Centros. Very nice, very nice. This is our Gentleman Junkie giveaway knife, Lone Star, who is in Turkey. This is the 3-Dog Knife Mac, multiple animal knife from 3-Dog Knife, which is the in-house brand of Northern Knives. And this beauty is M390 blade steel with black Cerakote and this really nice tan canvas micarta handle, nice hand-filling handle. This thing is awesome, and it's got a beautiful sheath. I love this sheath. High grain, what do they say? Full grain leather with a top grain. I don't know what it is, but very, very nice leather. And here's your birth card, which is actually a dog tag. 3-Dog Knife, Mac, black Cerakote, M390, black micarta, born on June 12th in Anchorage, Alaska, June 12th, 2025. Thank you so much. This is compliments of Mike of Northern Knives. So I can't wait to give this to one of you lucky Gentleman Junkies. It is a beauty. I have one myself, not with this beautiful black Cerakote. I am loving the Cerakote on this, but it is in my own special, what do you call it? Colorway. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. Good to have you here, Angry Tom. And by the way, I hate saying colorway, so forgive me. Angry Tom says, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Everything will go to my brother. If my brother goes before me, everything will be sold and donated to the homeless. I work with the homeless Monday through Friday. How cool. That's awesome, man. When I lived in New York, it occurred to me that sometimes I should give a knife to people on the street because they might need it. And then I thought, maybe it's not for me to do. Maybe that's for someone else to do. But glad to hear that's what you're going to do. I know you're not giving the knives to them, but you will sell them off and donate them. That's great. Need more people like you doing that kind action. Alex Kerber says, I'm kidding. I'd like to pretend I'm still young. 40. You are still young. You're a babe in arms, Alex. I've only recently gotten into knives, though, so nothing heirloom quality yet. Well, you know what, Alex? Probably it's all heirloom quality in that it will stand the test of time. It's just a matter of what do you like the most? I mean, like someone might look at this, for instance, this new Cleaver V3 from Off Grid Knives and say, well, that's not heirloom quality, but this thing is an awesome knife. I love it. I love using it. And the materials will last as long as the steel holds up. And, that G10 will last forever, I'm sure. So keep it in good shape. And it could be heirloom quality. Why not? Keon, nice to have you here. Keon GR75. Greetings to all. It's Friday morning knives. Oh, for me in Greece. How cool. I love Greece. The collection, all 2 drawers of it, will go to my nephew. Cheers. That's great, man. Lots of lucky nephews, sons, and grandsons. And Greece, I think I've mentioned this before, but my wife and I spent our honeymoon in Greece on the island of Crete for 2 weeks. It was so freaking awesome. I want to move back. and eat my Stefato on French fries. It was so good. Kenneth Hack, nice to have you here, Kenneth. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Good evening to you, Kenneth. My entire collection is comprised of knives I made myself, so they may end up in Goodwill after I die. Kenneth, no. A body of work like that should end up in a Knife Junkie's hands. That's pretty cool. Your entire collection you made. That's pretty sweet. Trent says, we need to mention on other knife channels how cool the Knife Junkie channel is. Help it grow. Thank you, Trent. That'd be great. Help it grow to 50,000 at least, and then we can give away a Dirk Pinkerton custom knife to one of you lovely gentlemen or ladies out there. How cool would that be? OG Blade Review says, Work Tough Elbrus Gen 2 on the way. First Work Tough gear. Awesome. I'm not sure what the Elbrus is, but they're all awesome. I love Work Tough gear knives. Steve, how's it going? Steven Roberts, what's up, all? And he is a Gentleman Junkie yet again, and stands to win tonight. Steve told me a funny story about traveling with one of the knives he won here as a Gentleman Junkie, and almost got it taken by TSA, who was already trying to figure out how much he could fence it for, which is just, man, just beyond the pale. Steve says, what's up, all? I think my son would be happy with my arcade Rolex and might have to fight for my knives with my daughter. Yeah. Oh, that would be, yeah, let's hope it doesn't come down to that. That would be a scrap. String said, I wanted a Rolex my whole life and finally pulled the trigger 4 years ago while playing some gigs in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. How cool. Treat yourself. You won't regret it. They hold their value well. Yeah. Unfortunately, my wife has some idea of how much Rolexes cost. So I think it's going to have to wait for some windfall. You know, maybe I stumble across a briefcase full of gold, maybe on that day. Terminator Joe, I subscribed to you today at long last. I was checking out your D-Bad Mission 3 video today. Evening, fellows. I'm doing an all-nighter. What's going on? Well, hopefully we get you through two of these hours without you dozing off. All-nighters are tough, man. I've done, a number of them in my day, but I no longer aspire to that unless I absolutely have to. So here's to staying up all night, sir. Keep yourself well medicated. Not medicated, well caffeinated and medicated if you need it. Connor Colarusso, good to have you here, Connor. Hey, guys. I passed down my Medford Nosferatu. That's a cool knife. That is a cool knife. The Nosferatu kind of looks like a coffin, if you ask me. Ken Reed, nice to have you here, Ken. Evening, boys. I don't know if anyone will want my knives after I'm gone, but in case my wife wants to sell them, I'm going to leave a list with actual prices. I paid not what I told her I paid. Yeah, my wife recently asked for the same thing. I was lamenting, like, oh, I got so many knives. Oh, no. Actually, I was showing off something that someone gave me that's quite costly. And she's like, you need to let me know how much that collection costs just in case. And I'm like, yeah, I will. Terminator Joe says, I pass on my knives to my 3 sons. Yes, sir. That sounds like a good plan. And they to theirs. Mike, nice to have you here, Mike. My grandfather's World War II trench knife will get passed on to my son. Yeah, that's awesome. Especially if it's been in the family for a couple of generations, that's a great way to go. Victor Blades, nice to have you here, Victor. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Hope will paisan. Hope. I think I know what you mean. Hope I'm well. You too, man. Hope you're doing great. Have a nice day says you can donate them to veterans organizations for fundraisers. That's a great idea. Sell them via places like Arizona Custom Knives and use the money for charities. That's a great idea. Mike says, hey, Bob, thanks for that beautiful folder I won last Thursday. Mike, it is my pleasure, man. I'm glad you like it and use it in good health. As always. That's also a big thanks to Dave of OG Blade Reviews, who donated it to this channel to give to you. Matt Maurer, nice to have you here, Matt. Knives are changing and innovating so much, that I wouldn't plan on passing any down, but rather advising what I would recommend. You're taking them with you. I know, Matt. I know what you're doing. I see you. Trent Costello says, good knives, good vibes. Maybe, may I see that Wallace Bowie once more, please and thanks. Yes, sir. I'm going to put this away, this beautiful V44X Work Tough gear. I think when Dave mentioned Work Tough gear, I had to pull this one out. But let me bring out the Wallace again. Great sheath on this Wallace Bowie. Northern Knives, good to have you here, Mike. We're giving away the Mac tonight, the multiple animal knife. We're giving this away. Thank you again so much for donating this to us. I'm also going to throw in some swag, lots of swag. Enduring Wifey, this says baptism. So yeah, that package will contain all sorts of swag as well. And actually, Mike threw in a swag bag too. You're going to be overwhelmed with it. So this is the beautiful APOC Survival Tools Wallace Bowie. I think this is just a skosh over $100. They're very, very reasonably priced. Super comfortable here with this nicely radiused choil here. The choil is so comfortable. This whole thing feels really good in hand. And yeah, I love this knife. I have not really used this one. I've used the Demco Bowie a number of times just outside banging around, but I kind of have not wanted to sully this one yet, but I guess I just have to. Why not? I love that downward angled Bowie blade. I just find that to be beautiful. I love the way that looks. And you know it's going to accelerate the cutting because of that angle, like when you're chopping. Also, the ergonomics on this are stellar. It's so comfortable. We had Brown Sugar, I believe. Brown Sugar 69, nice to have you here. Hello, Knife Junkie. Hello to you, Brown Sugar. Hope all is well. Craig Vincent says, evening, Bob, Jim and Junkies. Craig, always a pleasure, sir. Another gentleman junkie who stands to win big on this very, very night. By design, all my knives will be up for grabs. It will be an awesome and glorious mad scramble. Not going to lie, kind of bummed I won't be here to witness it. Perhaps you will be like hovering above watching. Hopefully we get some idea of what happens. Adrian Fighter 35 says, my eldest son gets my Recon 1. Daughter gets my Tylite Chris serrated edge. That's a good one. Youngest son gets the Trailmaster. Oof, what did he do? That's my favorite. I love the Trailmaster. Granddaughters will get the XL Recon 1 and a Spada XL. I'll be buried with the rest. Yes, just like an ancient king. I like that. Three Dog Knife is awesome. Fingers crossed, says Strings. Another gentleman junkie who stands to win. Scott says, to clarify, it'll be my high-end kitchen knives I leave. They can they can sell my collection and buy what they desire. Oh, that's nice. Like a Rolex. Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Just kidding. Bobtism says, I would totally give my wife a get the right price list. I saw my mom get hosed on my dad's firearms collection without consulting me. That is sad. We've all heard of that happening. That really sucks. We growing up, my grandfather was friends with a guy who was in American intelligence during World War II and had an amazing collection of World War II weaponry and regalia and all sorts of really valuable stuff. It filled up a room, pictures of him shaking Truman's hands and, like all sorts of crazy stuff. And someone took advantage of his wife, who was also a little senile, and like paid like $1,000 or something crazy for this serious haul. It makes me mad. It's just how it goes. So I think that's great. An actual list with the real prices is a good way to go. That doesn't mean you're going to get that money back, but it's a good place to start in terms of knowing what you have. Victor Blade says, hi, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. We have more in common. 2 daughters. And speaking of college, just got home a little while ago. I am beat. College shopping today. May have to sell both Rolexes. Yikes. College shopping, man. Ooh, that's coming. That's coming. 3 years, and I'll be doing the same. Well, 2 years, I guess, is when I do the shopping. 3 years, I start buying. Homie Omi, nice to have you here, homie. Got two boys, so I always buy a second if I fall in love with a knife. That's cool. It happened recently with the Bark River Highwayman 3. First one standard handle half guard. Oh, first one standard half guard. Second one a Moran handle full guard. God, I was just looking that up today. That has such a cool profile. I love that Highwayman. I didn't know that they came out with the 3 until it was mentioned the other day. If indeed that's new. Split and Slices, nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob. Jim and Junkies, Thursday Night Knives. Yet another potential winner of the Mac. Northern Knives, I'm picking up some Riot sheaths tomorrow. Then I'll get one in the mail to you. Riot sheaths. What are these? Oh, the Riot. Yes, the Riot knife. Oh, cool. Oh, I can't wait to show that off. That is a really cool knife. Also made by 3 Dog Knife. And so you'll be seeing that here real soon. Jerry C says, Bob, I kind of have to agree with you. I kind of have to agree with your better half. With your awesome collection, you should inventory it at least for insurance reasons, brother. Some types of collections require additional insurance. Yeah. This was, I don't know when we got a new policy, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. The collection certainly did not look like this. So yeah, you're right. I do have to do that. Oh my God. It's such a task though, but got to do it. Jay Demeter says, for anyone writing their will now, it's spelled Demeter. That's pretty good. Matt Lamana, nice to have you here, Matt. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies on the road, but listening along. Matt, keep listening because you might be the winner tonight. We have a lot of gentleman junkies here in the audience tonight, and I love it like that because you should be here when you stand to win something big. So I'm glad you're here. Robert Strebin, nice to have you here, Robert. Good Thursday night, evening to you, Bob, Jim, and all junkies out there. All of my knives will go to my stepson. That's cool. Just one. Yeah, I know that my knives are going to my daughters, and then my daughters and my wife, presumably, and then they can figure it out from there. But I will leave them some idea of what they have. Lone Star Dowboy says, a sharpener's nightmare, serrated pizza knife. Oh, my lands. Yeah, no kidding. Serrations. I just busted this out tonight because I love it. And look at these little tiny serrations, man. How do you even deal with those? I mean, I get how to take care of the big scoops. And I know that Cold Steel makes a sharpener to get in those tiny little things. But, man, let's face it. You got to have a lot of spare time on your hands to take care of that. Terminator Joe says, I have a daughter, but she's girly, shows no interest in knives, but she's 5, so we'll see. Yep. Little girly girls. Oh gosh, I love my girls, and they're both pretty girly, but they both have their tough sides too. I think girls like knives because they like the equalizing effect of them. Bob Tism says, isn't it wild? Homeowners go up so much when you have a ton of collectibles. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. I mean, I guess it stands to reason, especially if people know about them. And then you gotta have them under lock and key. Northern Knife says, I don't have anyone who would appreciate my knife collection. My knives may just go back to the shop. Maybe I'll be buried with 1 or 2. Yeah, you got to bring 1 or 2 at least. On the chest or whatever. And then who knows, maybe someone else takes it before you actually go in the ground. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. Put it back in the shop, and the rest of the world can enjoy them. Let me put this sucker back before it jumps up. By the way, what a great knife this is. If you don't have a Talwar, I highly suggest it. The 4-inch version is great. I used to have one, got rid of it, wish I didn't. and now they're they're way more expensive because they're not in because they're in fancy pants steel. But I love the pistol grip on this. I love the way it curves down here. It's true. I do want more knives. I love the way it curves down here. It gives you the ability to get that point where it needs to go, and also gives you a chance to choke back on it, give yourself a real angle on that blade for slashing and chopping and such, which you're probably not going to find yourself chopping with this knife, but slashing, it's highly likely. Great knife. I love these tall wires. Plus, you can wave it open with the thumb plate. Bobtism says, comic books, Lego, knives, and guns. I blame my frugal parents. That's funny, man. Yeah, my parents were frugal in a lot of ways, and I appreciated it. Well, no, appreciate it currently. But sometimes, like, I remember we were the last people in the world to get a push button phone. It was like we still had dial, well into the 90s. I was like, wow, come on. But yet now they're screenagers. Now they love their phones and their devices and such. Crazy. Strings says, I have the Cold Steel serrated sharpener. It works great. You should grab one. I've used it on my Black Talon and it's screaming sharp. So, okay, so Strings, does that serration sharpener have 5 little peaks that you can push through? If so, that makes it a lot easier. Let's see. Northern Knife says, my knife legacy will just be 3-dog knife. Well, that's quite a legacy. My contribution to the knife junkies everywhere. That's cool, man. That's a good contribution. Ouchie EDC, howdy, he says. Howdy to you, my man. Hope you're doing well. Michael Elliott says, all of my kids, 3 daughters, 1 son, carry a knife and a flashlight. That's awesome. My will and testament has been made to divide my arms evenly. Yes. But how even is even? Like, I know that there are a couple of knives that one daughter favors, and there's other knives that another daughter favors, but they both love daggers. So I think the fight will be over daggers. Not the fight. The negotiating will be around the perfectly symmetrical double-edged knives in my collection. Terminator Joe says, I own a tall wire I own a tall wire, was so stoked when they brought it back. So was I, man, because I missed it the first time. With a holdout and Recon XL. Hate it when knives are discontinued. So do I. And it's a good, like, I've learned this lesson at this point. It's good to just, if you have the means and it's not an irresponsible move, to buy the knife if you really, really love it, because things get discontinued. The holdout I've never been like so crazy about, but the Recon 1, the Recon 1 XL, after they discontinued it, I happened to find on the secondary market both a Tonto and a clip point, and then years later now they come back out with it, and that's great. But if you like it, save up for it and get it, because they just go away. Gary Bucco, nice to have you here, sir. Greetings, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies. Gary, hope you're doing well on this Thursday night. James, how you doing, James? Well, I'm here. I'm sorry. Well, I'm late, but I am here. Well, it is awesome to have you here, man. Craig Vincent says, Bob, when my brother passed away, he left about a dozen cold steel pieces. I didn't get any of them. It may have affected me because if I don't wake up tomorrow, I'd be leaving about 180 cold steel pieces. Wow, man. Wow. That's a lot. 180. I have less than 180 cold steels. I'm sorry to hear your brother passed away. And I'm also sorry to hear you didn't get his knives. That kind of sucks. Doug Bowles says, Bob, my SOG Sidewinder is my oldest knife, and I will be giving it to my 5-year-old grandson when he turns 18. How cool. Doug gave me a beautiful Sidewinder about a year ago, and I love that thing. That will be a great knife to give him. Bob Tism says, half a knife for you, half a knife for you. Yeah, exactly. You get the blade, you get the handle. I want the handle. James Hart says, well, I have no children and do not expect to. My nephew has no interest in knives, but I have some cousins that I will be sending knives eventually. It's interesting. All sorts. It takes all sorts. I can't imagine being well, I can't imagine, because of the young boy I was, not being into knives. But I know plenty of people who are. Don't we all? I know plenty of people who aren't into knives, and it's surprising to me because they're so appealing. But you should probably give one to your nephew anyway, because it will come in handy. And that's also how you make a knife junkie out of just a regular person, is give them a knife, and then they realize, oh, well, this is inherently cool. And then they find out it's useful. Strings says, yes, the cold steel sharpener has multiple different sides, one of all the types of their serrations. I believe it's a row of 3 for the smaller. Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it. Thank you, man. I think I'll get that. I know it's about that big. I know they make a small one. Mimo, nice to have you here, Mimo. I'm taking mine with me. I can use them to trade for fire blankets and water. Yes, sir. Well, I mean, that's earlier on. That's how I justified my sprawling and growing collection. I told my wife, you know, it's good bartering power after the apocalypse, or, you know, when the bottom falls out, everyone will need a knife. And wouldn't you know, I didn't do any knife trading during COVID, but I guess that obviously wasn't the end of the world. But everyone will need a knife at some point, so they can come here and I can trade for food or something. You know, hopefully that doesn't come to pass. All right. That said, let us now get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
In my front right pocket today, I had my Strider SMF. I had this in my pocket. I haven't carried it recently too much, but this is a great knife. I love this knife, and I just ordered the North Mountain Knives Dwayne Dwyer collaboration. It's so cool. I couldn't resist it. I recently discovered it for myself. I know it's been out for a while, but so I've made 2 folding knife purchases in the last week, and I haven't been thinking of folding knives too much, as you may know, besides this Manganas steel Aurelia, which I am totally hooked on, and the other one I've been carrying quite an awful lot, did tonight just in shorts, is the JW Collab Tango. I love this knife, even though it's smaller than my usual wheelhouse. But I got the Dwayne Dwyer Tonto collaboration, folding knife collaboration with North Mountain Knives. It looks so cool, and it got me all hyped out about Strider, so I put this in my pocket today. It was just such a joy to be carrying. I love the old school knives, and at this point, yes, this is old school. It's got washers instead of bearings. That's another thing I'm very excited about this new knife. It's got bearings in it, or washers in it, and I'm really excited. The other knife I ordered, incidentally, is the Bison by Concept. I was just asking Dave, how do you like your Bison? I know you've had it a little while. He's like, yeah, I dig it, and I have to revisit it. I dig it so much, so I had to get one of those too. Nice big Bowie knife, Ray Laconico design. This has CPM S30V and made in the USA. This is a beauty. I got this from Zelric 24. I don't know if you remember Zelric 24, but now you probably know him as Terrell Todd, one of the 2 Todd brothers, you know, the designers of modern knives. Next, in my front right pocket for most of the day, actually, was the Gateway Barlow from Jackwolf Knives. Love this thing. It's just like a great design. It's got really, really excellent fit and finish. All the pieces fit together beautifully. It's finished very nicely. And even though this is the lowest tier of production from Jackwolf Knives at $70, it is still a phenomenal knife. It is a really, really good knife. And look at that blade shape. It's got beautiful blade shape, full height flat grind, and other things like 14C28 and steel liners and bolsters, and less polishing, less fancy production work on it, less in terms of packaging. So it drops the price of this down considerably from the premium line and even from the mid-tier line, the steel series. And boy, I love this knife. Comes in this rosewood. It comes in a really nice green canvas micarta. I think the abalone that it came in was sold out. That was a dealer exclusive, I believe. And it's got blue micarta and something else, or a carbon fiber. So really, really beautiful. Highly recommend this knife. If you're on the fence about slip joints, or if Jackwolf knives are just too expensive, which I totally understand, this is a great thing to look into. You will love this knife. And it doesn't have any of those awkward design elements that some other modern slip joints have. It just looks like a classic, beautiful sleeve board Barlow style knife. So awesome thing. Very happy about it. This one I had in my pocket for part of the day. I swapped out the Strider for this. I went on a little lunchtime. I went on a walk with my dog and my daughter. It was hot as hell. We went into the woods. I wore a weighted vest. I'm trying to do everything I can to get my butt back in shape. So I wore a weighted vest, put this in the pocket, and man, I love this. I love the sheath too. But this is the Knives by Nuge Primitive Wicket XL, and the primitive aspect. He makes the Wicket XL. He makes the Wicket, which is the smaller version, in this primitive, and then he just does it regular. The regular has G10 or micarta handle scales and a saber grind, whereas the primitive has a Scandi grind and that really nice jute wrap, which he is known for. Look at that. I got a little bug on my hand, which he is known for. So much so that I've been carrying this around with me too. This is the Knives by Nuge collaboration with T. Kell on the PD1. He did this awesome jute wrap on 20 of these. And I got number 7 out of 20. What a beauty. But so this is what I had during that hike. And then I also had in my weighted vest, tucked under a flap so that the average pedestrian couldn't see it. But I had this. I love this thing. This was a gift from Jammin Parker, who's in the comments right now. This thing is so fine. This is the Gideon V3 from T. Kell Knives. And by the way, our password, our coupon code has changed, and I'll tell you about that in a quick second. But this was my emotional support. Thank God I didn't need it, but this was definitely on me for dogs or whatever might approach us with bad intent while I'm in a compromised state. And by that I mean have this weighted vest kind of ensconced in a weighted vest that would take a second to take off. So I wanted something that is quick and to the point, and this certainly is, even with that little point right here. That's a forearm destroyer in certain situations. I've learned how to carry it so that it doesn't, but this thing is really cool. This is a Frogman Tactical collaboration. You got a little clip at the front, little zero ground swedge at the front that really turns this thing. If you didn't think it was tactical to begin with, that really pushes it through. Of course, gorgeous black micarta handle scales. They offer so many different handle scale materials at T. Kell Knives, but I really like that black on this one. So I just wanted to let you know, if you want to buy a T. Kell knife, go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/TKell and use the coupon code KnifeJunkie, all lowercase, all one word. And that means you save 10%. and I get a little something, and Tim Kell gets a sale. So it's a win-win. It's triple win, baby. So check it out. There are so many great knives. I just showed this one. So many great knives that T. Kell Knives make, and they are well worth the money. And there's a little bit of a wait on some of them, because they take time to make. So that's what I had on me. What did you guys carry? Let me know. I had the Guardian V3. I'm sorry, not the Guardian. The Gideon V3 from T. Kell Knives and Frogman Tactical. That was my ESK today. My in-pocket fixed blade was the Knives by Nuge Primitive Wicket XL. My slip joint today was the beautiful Gateway Barlow from Jackwolf Knives. And then my main folder carry today was the Strider SMF, the bigger one. And if in pictures you need to know if it's an SNG or an SMF and you can't tell because they look basically exactly the same, it's the body screws. If you see 3 body screws, it is an SMF, the larger one. If you see 2, not including this, I mean these in a row. If you see 2, then it's the SNG. There you go. What were you guys carrying? Let me know. Angry Tom says, to some people, knives are therapy. Whatever you pass down, you're giving more than just a knife. You're giving the healing power of therapy. I cannot disagree with you on that. I think, especially if it's a well carried, well used, or at least well valued knife, something that really man, I love this knife. I want you to have it. Then yeah, even more so. Angry Tom says, today I have my QSP Penguin gold titanium button lock and Mike USP Hedgehog gold carbon fiber. I think you meant to say my USP, perhaps. But 2 hedgehogs, double hedgehog. Oh no, I'm sorry, penguin and a hedgehog. Very nice. I really like the penguin a lot. Bob Tism says XL with the crunchy grip. Yeah, crunchy like granola crunch, like hippie. James Hart said, "Don't call me a hippie." I'm just kidding. I was just watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night. I love that movie. Like I've said many times recently, going through a Tarantino phase, but I love how Leonardo DiCaprio's character is like goddamn hippies. Whenever he sees them, he hates hippies and that. I love it. James Hart says, in my right pocket, my Cold Steel Voyager Clip Point XL. Nice choice. Under my left arm, very nice small neck knife. And in my EDC bag, Swiss Army Deluxe Tinker, Gerber Multi-Tool, and Cold Steel Voyager. Excellent. Don't leave me on tenter hooks with the Voyager, though. Is it a large? I mean, is it an XL? What blade shape? Split and Slices says, carry is the Cold Steel Recon 1 Tonto. Excellent choice. A Red Hill Cutlery Bourbon and Blades 2024 Buck Spitfire in S35 VN. Okay, Red Hill Cutlery Bourbon and Blades. I don't know what that is, but I love the sound of it. Love bourbon, love blades. Northern Knives. Today's carry is a Protect Godson. Oh, so cool. In brass with a carbon inlay. With a carbon inlay and MOP button. MOP. What is that? Is that like shiny? Shiny. Is that glow in the dark? What's MOP? Also, a tactile turn sidekick, custom Cerakoted Ameritech copper flashlight, and a Chavez Redención slip joint. Please excuse the clumsy reading. That's nice. The Godson sounds really cool. What's MOP though? James Hart says drop point with a 4-inch blade. Thank you, sir. And the jimping. Don't forget the jimping. Michael Elliott says pocket check. Gunfighter Customs El Jefe. That is a beautiful knife. That's my next. I guess that's my next. El Jefe is the reverse Tanto with the cool handle with the like sub hilt towards either the pinky if you have it in standard grip or between here. Is that right? And the Gunfighter. I love the Gunfighter. Oh, I have it over on my little tray for close-up videos I got to make. T-Kel Adversary, excellent choice, and Agent 004, Cold Steel Recon 1XL, and Black Talon 2. Man, so 2 Cold Steels, 2 T-Kels, and 2 Gunfighter Customs. How cool. Michael Elliott designed, I'm pretty sure he designed the El Jefe, but I know he designed the Gunfighter. Very cool. Killer Strider you got there, Bob. Well, thank you. I love it. I love the contoured handle. I had a Lego, the totally squared off one a long time ago. Kind of wish I still had it just for giggles and grins, but that one had a very oblique grind and was just terrifically uncomfortable. Ozman, good to have you here, Ozman. I'm passing down over 200 blades. Yeah, I think, Osman, I have in my mind somewhere that, I'm going to sell a whole bunch of these off, so that only the real choice ones will be an option to give down. And I just have so many choice ones. I know that sounds well, I mean, it's because I'm a lucky guy, and a lot of these have been given to me. But man, yeah, okay. So you're passing down 200. Maybe that's what I should wend it down to. But that's a lot of knives right there. Terminator Joe says, pocket check, 2 Espada XLs. The left pocket has my Frankenstein serrated red Espada XL copy. Interesting. With oh my gosh. An Espada XL with full serrated blade would just be astonishingly scary. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, Bob. Hello, all, he says. Good evening, man. I'm glad you're here. Angry Tom says, QSP Penguin button lock, gold titanium, and my QSP Hedgehog, gold carbon fiber, and S90V with a chocolate, ooh, nice, traditional pocket knives slip. I need to get a slip. I need to get a new slip for this knife, I think. Not so much that I want to be precious with it, but I just don't like the way it turns in the pocket. Chris229, good to have you here, Chris. Evening, everyone, he says. Good evening to you, man. It's good to have you here. Bob Tism says, Monterey Bay Knives, Wolverine, radial frag. Ray Laconico design. Wolverine, I don't know. And radial flag, a frag. I'm seeing the frag kind of squares, but they can't be squares. They have to be, what's that shape? Well, because I see them radiating outward from some sort of center point, kind of like this, except with a frag. So is that right? So crosses coming down that way. Let me know. Strings says, in my pocket was the Victorinox 580 nail clip, the Rough Rider Reserve Brown Micarta Barlow. On my hip, the Lion Steel Moletta T5. Very nice. I didn't know that Victorinox made something with a nail clipper. That's pretty cool. Donald Fry, nice to have you here, Donald. Also a Gentleman Junkie. He says, howdy, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Timely subject tonight, as I'm currently having my 3 children pick which guns from my collection they may want. Guess I need to do the same with my knives. Yeah. You could make it a joint thing. Pick your favorite gun, pick your favorite knife. That's cool. My parents have done that where they'll have us go through the house or go through their place or their attic, which they've cleaned out at this point. Just say, which paintings do you want? Which my grandfather did a lot of paintings. We have a lot of those, and sculptures and like works of art and stuff around the house. And so we've been doing that, and they broke us into doing that a long time ago. So now it's not like a melancholy activity. It's kind of like, oh, cool, I get this. This was one of those. Jammin Parker says, Bob, love to hear you carry the Gideon. Oh man, I love the Gideon. Yeah, and it fits in my weighted vest perfectly behind the Velcro strap, and then I have something I can cover this with, but I can still come up underneath it and tug it out. So yeah, thank you, man. This thing is Such an awesome and thoughtful gift. Seth Lang says, well, Seth, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Mr. Lang, 'tis a pleasure. Good for a Strider edumacation. Yeah, good for the Strider edumacation. I'm psyched. I can't wait to get that thing. I ordered it directly from North Mountain Knives. It's the only one place I could find the Tonto, though I didn't scour the internet. But it was the only place I could find the Tonto. So I don't know if that's coming from China and I have to wait a while. I'm not sure how that's going to work. Mimo said, I think it's a Japanese company, but they have their blades made in Japan or in China. I'm not exactly sure. Mimo says, Spyderco Gale Bradley 2, micarta and crewware. That's such a sweet knife. I like that. I like the Gale Bradley 2. I like the others. Sorry. Now Stretch 2. The Stretch 2. Autumn Wind says, Protec TR4 operator rode solo today. Sometimes I got to say, it's fun to carry one knife because it's like, no matter what comes up, it's this knife today. And for me, nothing ever comes up anyway. But still, if I have to cut something, this is my only choice. And yeah, that's living on the edge, pun unintended. Scott says, on my belt, the Almar Pack Rat 2, lovely small fixed blade, front pocket, a Honey Badger Tonto. Honey Badgers are cool. I was just going through my vast file of stickers, and I'm putting them in, I kind of divvied them up into bags, and those stickers are going to be going into the stuff I mail out, giveaway stuff. And I just saw a Honey Badger sticker, and I remember talking to those guys last year. They were nice dudes, South African, I believe. Ed, how you doing, Ed? Ed says, what's up, knife people? Bob, let me figure out which of my knives are heirloomy enough. Yeah, let me see. Adrian Fighter 35 says, today's carry was the Cold Steel Espada Large in AUS 10 with the G10 handles. And for neck carry, the Mini Tac serrated Tonto. I like the Mini Tac. I do not have a Tonto. I'm looking over at my neck knives hanging there. I don't have a Tonto. Always kind of wanted one. So again, just taking my own advice, I should just get one before they discontinue them. Craig Vincent says 3V8010 XL Vaquero serrated, excellent choice. I love that knife. SR1 light Tonto, full metal Atlas, Spectre Hawkbill. I don't know that one. Spyderco PM3 lightweight Magna Cut, Kershaw Culpeper, Demco Armiger 4 Spearpoint Fixie. Man, very nice carry. That full metal Atlas is getting a lot of love from people. I should check that out. But what is the Spectre Hawkbill? That's not a Cold Steel, is it? Will B, how you doing, Will? Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Just got the girls to bed, so I'm a bit late. Bunch of girl dads here tonight, Will. So glad you got them safely tucked in, and you can and you did not miss the giveaway of this knife because you also stand to win this knife. Very excited about that. Vitaly, let's see. Vitaly Sitkov, nice to have you. Vitaly. I just wanted to make sure I was pronouncing that right. Vitaly Sitkov, nice to have you here, sir. You may not consider it a knife, but I'm passing down my Leatherman collection for knife carry. Yes, that is a knife. It is a knife. Its primary tool is not necessarily a knife, but I mean, we all use and love them. Probably use them more than we love them. I mean, I know I do. And I need to update my Leatherman carry. I have some pretty basic Leatherman. Basic meaning the less expensive ones. Gary Bucco says, I was carrying my latest acquisition, the Vostede Naga. I love it. Is that a Japanese-inspired knife? I'm unfamiliar with the Vostede Naga. Jam Parker carried the Compliance Edge DCK. I love that knife. Benchmade Phaeton and the Skeletool. Is the DCK double-edged? Hopefully it is. I need to get one of those post haste. I love that knife. But I know that Yoni Wonderman had a shoulder surgery, so he's not making knives until September. So he just released this awesome tutorial. Like, tutorial doesn't do it justice. It's a giant, beautifully shot series on how to design for CNC and then how to make CNC knives. And he kind of takes you through his process, showing you all of the pitfalls that he ran into and ways you can work around them. So really, really generous download of knowledge coming from Yoni, and I love his knives. Michael Elliott, oh, I don't have any. Let me just, but I love the way they look, and I can just tell they're sweet. Michael Elliott says the El Jefe is the karambit. Okay, so I'm wrong about that. Our reverse tanto push knife is called the Ledger. That's not the one I'm thinking of either. The one I'm thinking of is a Pical style. It's a double-edged curved knife, and it's got a handle that you can get a full four-finger grip on, but it has like a sub hilt that comes out of the handle. Say this is the knife. It doesn't look anything like this, but say that this is the knife. It's got like a thing that comes out right here for gription. And then when you have it reversed, it really gives you a great place. Instead of having a thumb thing, it's got a sub hilt. What's that one called? I love that knife. Have a Knife Day says, a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive Benchmade Osborne's Desert Warrior. So that's a 940, I take it. OF green scales with the flat dark earth blade. Yes, that is a really nice looking knife. I generally don't tend to go for the flat earth or tan colored blades, but man, it looks nice on that knife. Maybe it's the green, maybe it's the combination, or as knife people are fond of saying, maybe it's the colorway. Ed says, if I think I ever hit a tough spot financially, my more expensive knives will probably have to go. So I think the cheaper stuff I really like will definitely get passed down. Yeah, I've thought that too. But Ed, I know we're all working to not have to do that, but if you have to do that, it's good not to be too attached. James Hart says, oh, and my Western W49 Bowie will be buried with me. If I can't have you. Well, sort of. An American Father, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, good Thursday evening, fiends. Hope you all are well. Yes, we are well, and we're fiending away, thinking about all of our favorite knives. Today's carry, the TKL 001 in honor of Thursday Night Knives. Thank you, sir. The Exodus K&T Jackalope, Off-Grid Stinger XL, and Primitive Bear Blackwater. I really like Primitive Bear, what I've seen on Instagram, when I was able to see anything on Instagram. But what is the Exodus K&T? Curious about that. Bob Tism says, yes, sir, Radial Frag Wolverine, an amazing budget knife from Monterey Bay Knives. Their stuff is, for the most part, beautiful, because their stuff, for the most part, is designed by Ray Laconico, he's got a magic touch, man. He's got everything he designs is beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to that Bison, which I wouldn't just assume is one of his designs. So it also goes to show that he's not a one-trick pony. He's not just making super clean drop points. He's also making super wicked big Bowie folders. Can't wait to get that. Bob Tism, the frag is a radial mill away from the pivot, so it looks nice. I love that. That sort of sunburst kind of effect. James Hart says, I would not order anything from China for a while. They have some they have had some extreme flooding over there. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm no friend of the Chinese government, not that we have a particular enmity, but I hate to hear of any people anywhere suffering. Bob Tism says it has gun grip edge milling, which is amazing. Wait. Oh, it has gun grip edge milling, though, which is amazing. I don't know what that is. Gun grip edge. Doug Bull says, Bob, what model of knife most like the clinch pick, but dual blade sharpened? I am interested for horizontal concealed carry. All right, I got to show it. I got to get it. Hang on one second. It's right here. Doug, this is what you want. And Michael Elliott, the man who designed this knife, is right here in the chat. this is what you want. It is like a clinch pick. It's similar in the handle, that sort of egg-shaped handle. You can grip it either way, reverse or forward. But look at this. Double-edged, baby. Double-edged. And a great place to put your thumb here and for longer range slashing, that kind of thing, or come up here for pressure cutting and a closer grip. This thing is awesome. I absolutely love this. This is the Gunfighter Customs Gunfighter. And Michael, maybe you can chime in, tell him the best way to get in touch with you if he wants to order one of these. This thing is so good. I love this knife. I carried it all throughout Blade Show. It was the first fixed blade I received at Blade Show. This was a gift from the guys at Gunfighter Customs. But this and the one that I mentioned before would be the first two from them I would get. This thing is so good. And there's his maker's mark. So Doug, this is what I would recommend, and you can horizontal carry it. I like to carry it in the waistband at either 3 o'clock or appendix. I've been able to carry appendix more recently, as I have some of my efforts to shed Christmas weight have been effective. But yeah, this thing is awesome. It can ride horizontally on your belt, and it does have some of that clinch pick, we'll say DNA maybe. So that's what I would recommend. It's coming up to giveaway time, but I see Dirk is in the comments. Hello, Dirk. It's great to have you here. Pinkerton Knives. Hello, Bob and all. I finally made it for Thursday night. The downside, nothing to listen to in the shop tomorrow. In my pockets today, as it has been for a while, the inversion and the standoff. Well, I was just showing off. By the way, I love the standoff and the inversion. I have the Night Horse out here tonight. I was showing off the Matador, and the Night Horse looks very similar, I think. I mean, they're of similar vibe. They both look Spanish to me, and that's why I call it the Matador. And so Dirk has very generously said that once we get to 50,000 subs, he will make a custom knife for one lucky winner of Thursday Night Knives. And could be the Razorback, could be this. It's going to be a fixed blade, custom, something that he makes from the ground up. So we have to decide on what that is. And I cannot wait to give that away to one lucky subscriber. But Dirk, good to have you here, man. And, you know, you don't need me to publicly say I love your knives, but I love your knives, man. Put this one away. This one I've been carrying quite a bit. This is actually very comfortable next to the skin, which it has to, being summer and being like just t-shirt weather, basically. This has been going under t-shirts a lot, and this smooth handle feels pretty nice against my love handle. So there you go. Sorry to paint that image. All right. I think maybe we should think about giving away this knife. We've had it here. Let me show it off again. Here it is. This is the Three Dog Knife Mac, and I'm very excited to give this M390 beauty away. Lone Star Dowboy says, once a time in Hollywood, best line, I'm here to do the devil's business. Yeah. I like the line preceding that where he says, wait, are you real? He's tripping. He's smoking that acid-laced cigarette. And the guy says, I'm as real as a donut, motherfucker. And I love that. Real as a donut. That's great. I love that. Anyway, we're going to be giving this one away. And it's happening right now. Let's see. Will B says, my Randall, Hinderer, and any customs will go to my girls. Hopefully they appreciate them. I'm already working on indoctrinating them into the knife culture. Yes, do it. Do it as early as you can. I used to pick up both my girls and hold them over the knife case. And which one do you like the best? You know, point to which one you like. And they developed their favorites that way. All right, Jim. I saw Jim brought up the Wheel of Destiny here. There it is. I'm excited to see who gets this. It's always nice. Thank you so much to Mike of Northern Knives and Three Dog Knife for giving this to the channel, giving this to one lucky Gentleman Junkie winner through me. And just so everyone knows, I know I left someone out last time. I triple checked. This is all 34 of you, and thank you all, one and all. Let's spin this in 3, 2, and 1. All right, it's in motion. Can't stop it now, no matter what. Who's gonna? Who got it? Martin Gamboa. All right, Martin. Nicely done, sir. Martin Gamboa has been with us a bit. He's been with us a while. So I'm happy to be sending this off to Martin. I don't think he's with us tonight because I haven't seen him in the chat. But Martin, I'm very excited to get this off to you. Please let me know your address, though I know I can find it if I go way back to the very beginning of all of our messages on Patreon. But thank you. And thank you, one and all. Thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot to me, means a lot to Jim. And it's nice to be able to give back. And again, we like to do these giveaways. Well, these giveaways happen every third Thursday, and they're always special. And then we do other giveaways the rest of the time for anyone who shows up. These are knives that Dave has given us, and I always love just sharing the wealth. So thank you guys for sharing the wealth with us, you gentlemen junkies, and you traditional junkies, and you tactical junkies. It's greatly appreciated. All right, let me show you something cool. This is a new one from Jackwolf, and they've come out with a lot of new stuff recently. So we all know about the premium tier of knife. I will put this out. There's the premium tier here's a Barlow. It's premium. Here is a Barlow budget. And here is a premium K9 jack. Well, here is a mid-tier K9 jack. This is the Steel Series K9 jack. This is their box for the Steel Series. It's got a slip thing, very tight, but it's a much less expensive and complex, much less complex packaging scheme here. That's part of the savings. So here you have a $70 knife in the Gateway Barlow. This is the gateway to Jackwolf Knives. And then the next tier up is the Steel Series, and that's this. This is the new K9 Jack Steel from the Steel Series. So beautiful. These run about $175, I believe. This has a 154 cm blade, full height hollow ground with the two-stage finish on the blade. What that means is it's ground, and then it also has a belt satin applied. So it goes across the machine twice. You got a thicker blade stock, but a much thinner blade than the Gateway. And then here you have the polished steel bolsters and liners. Now I thought they were integral, like the premium, but then when I look close, I can see that the bolsters are soldered on or fixed on somehow to the liners there. Nice thick steel liners, beautiful on the inside too, if you just look down there. And then this is the second knife from them with bone. I wanted to show you the first one that they featured, that nice smooth white bone. So beautiful on this Big Bro jack here. Well, this is their first jigged bone. So you can see really beautiful dye job on this, and really nice jigging. The texture is awesome. Feels so good in hand. It's nice and grippy, and it's just feels nice to hold. but you get a lot more, the excellent fit and finish that you get of the premium line, but just kind of lesser materials, if you will. So there it is, the original one. And you can also see towards the tail end how Ben redesigned the handle a little bit. So he removed this radius here, made it more of a scoop. He said that his skills with CAD have improved, and he wanted to make this a little bit more of a traditional handle shape. So he did that, made that change, and it is not contoured. These knives, these premium ones, are all nicely contoured, but this one is, you know, a flat slab of bone. Really, really nice. Like I said, 154 cm blade steel. I love, like, probably my all-around favorite. I mean, I like the fancy, expensive blade steels. I just think I have the most experience with 154, and I just love it. So there you go. These are your Jackwolf knives within reach. Also, if you go for the gateway up here, you'll see it's pinned construction. It looks more like a traditional slip joint. This down here can be taken apart, and the pivot can be adjusted and all of that. So very, very cool. I love how Jackwolf Knives has diversified. I was telling my daughter about it kind of randomly. She didn't ask, but I was showing her these, and she's like, I love that he's making things for people like me who don't have money to spend on knives. Even she could afford, with her babysitting money, one of these. So I love how they've been diversifying. Look at this. You got the premium line. You know, we'll remove this one. You got the premium line that started it all. You've got the JW collab here with Cerberus knives, and there will be more collaborations coming up. You have the Gateway series, which is below $100, and then you have the Steel series, which sits right in the middle. So really, really ambitious plan and a smart plan to kind of diversify the offerings of Jackwolf Knives. Great walk and talk on this. Thank you, Jim. I failed to read out the names of all of our Gentleman Junkies, and that is important. So let me do that right now as an additional acknowledgement. We have Five Door. We have Adrian Fighter 35, Ben Belkin, Byron Kennedy, Colin Maison-Pierre, Craig Vincent, Donald Fry, Doug Bull, Edwin Callow, Gavin Colitis, Jay McConnell, Jammin Parker, Jason, Jeff Hamilton, Jeff Wright, Jesse Graybear, Jesse Tellis, Jock's Knife, JVF, Larry Elizondo, Martin Gamboa, tonight's winner, Matthew Lamana, Michael Elliott, Never Enough Knives 007, Ronald Reimer, Ryan Lynch, Scott Nelson, Sean Welford, sorry for the typo there, Sean, Sean Harmon, Stephen Michael Roberts, Thomas Butler, V2, Northern Knives, and Will B. Hats off to you guys. Thank you so much. It's so greatly appreciated. And yeah, thank you. Lots of J's. That's the biggest one. Will B says, my Randall Hinderer and any custom will go to my girls. Hopefully they'll appreciate them. I'm already working on indoctrinating them into the knife culture. Yes, indeed. Speaking of knife cult, have this out, this beauty. Spectre is a series Cold Steel brought back. That's right. I know that. There's a drop point and a hawkbill, kind of a gentleman's carry. Yes, that's right. Yep. You reminded me of that last week. Cold Steel Spectre comes in a drop point or a hawkbill, long-bladed gentleman CEO types on the pricey side. Yep. Part of that pricey series from early 2000s, late 90s that they've brought back. Gary Bucco says it's a folder that was inspired by the Spanish Navaja, which is, are you talking about this? This beauty. Jammin Parker says, yes, the DK DCK is double-edged. I got the new Mark 1 or MK1 version of the DCK. It's thinner behind the edge and shorter, but with a stouter tip. One of my favorites. Yoni does amazing work. Yes, man, he does. And he showed off on the podcast the difference between the two. And yeah, they both look cool. I like the way it looks with the longer blade, I'm not going to lie, but to know that it's got a stouter tip is worth the price of admission. Cliff Brot, nice to have you here, Cliff. Hello, everyone, he says. Hello to you, sir. Hope things are well way up north. Michael Elliott says, we have 3 with that wonderful grip module. The Sicario is the Persian style EDC blade. The Alcon is the same knife, but the blade reversed to be a Talon. And the El Jefe is the Sicario, but with the ring at 90 degrees. Maybe it's the Sicario I'm thinking of. I think it's the Sicario. I think so. Speaking of Sicario, this is the knife I have right out here. This one is also called the Sicario. This is from Bald Man Knife and Tool. I finally figured out how to carry it. Got a clip on there, and I've been dropping this in regular pockets, like the pocket. And it's great, especially on the angled slit of a sort of khaki or work pants. It works well. And it kind of blends in with that beautifully toasted natural linen micarta handle. I love this knife. James Hart says, okay, I'm off. I have a parade to work Saturday morning, and I've got to get the bike and radio with antenna and extra batteries ready to go. James, have fun. First of all, thanks for joining us. Have an awesome weekend and have fun at the parade. That sounds like a fun thing, man, to work a parade. Have a great weekend, sir. Miranda Wilmore, nice to have you here, Miranda. Do you have to be live? I'm sorry. Do you have to be live to win if you're a patron? No. You mean like, do you have to be here? Oh, wait. Do you have to be live to win if you're a patron? No, you don't, because I don't think Martin's here with us, but he wins. He won it this time. He pays up every month, so I gotta deliver. If that's what you're asking. Sword XXXY says, "G'day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Sorry for being late. My kids would be getting up. My kids would be getting a collection of knives, swords, and armor." Ooh, armor. That sounds cool. That sounds like quite a collection you got there, Sword. Scott says, "Enjoy the ride, James." Yes, indeed. Northern Knife says, some of my comments are getting deleted. On the ProTech, I carry MOP, mother of pearl, and carbon fiber. I fat fingered that. MOP, mother of pearl. I guess I should have been able to figure that out, especially knowing ProTechs. The Mac is the knife featured by in the author Mark Cameron's Artless Cutter series of books. It's the knife passed down from the main character's father, Grumpy, to him. Great books, highly recommend. That sounds awesome. Artless Cutter series. I'm gonna write this down. I love especially books about outdoorsmen right now, or explorers. I think I'm gonna get into. I just got a cool book. Well, I haven't even started it yet. I won't even comment, but a recommendation from a guy at work. Looks awesome. It takes place in the 20s. Tough times. Mike Link Music. Nice to have you here, Mike. Man, I've missed Thursday Night Knives recently due to a health scare, but I'm doing better now. My favorite show. First of all, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry to hear of your health scare. I hope, well, it sounds like it was just a scare, and that's great. I'm glad to hear you're back on your feed. And the last thing is, taking that health scare and making a positive change with it. Bobtism, happy pre-Friday. Happy pre-Friday to you. And I just saw there was a hashtag knife in the comments. The only time that doesn't work for a giveaway is on the third Thursday of the month, when we're giving just to Gentleman Junkies, supporters at the high tier on Patreon. Sorry about that, but be sure to join us next week. I'm sure we'll be giving away another cool knife, another cool folder or fixed blade that Dave of OG Blade Reviews has given us. So we'll definitely be doing that. Split and Slices says, big kudos to Mike and staff at Three Dog Knife / Northern Knives for the donation knife and sheath. Yeah, no kidding. Big kudos to him and to Dave. They make all of these giveaways possible. Look at that. I love this knife. All right. Bob Tism says, just got my Rosecraft Mule in D2 the other day. Loving the old school knives now. Bob Tism, if you like that, you'll like this. Check it out. Highly recommend. Also, I know that Rosecraft does a lot of cool Barlows too. And they're apparently stout as all hell. I mean, I know mine are pretty stout, but I haven't put them through what Scab has, and he has put his knives through some amazing stuff. Dirk Pinkerton says, thank you, Bob. I do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the 50,000 subscriber knife. I can't wait to see what model is picked. I already have some ideas. Oh, you and I are going to have to talk offline, as they say, about what those are. Very generous of you, Mr. Pinkerton. Yes, indeed, Scott. I couldn't agree more. And I'm so enthusiastic about his knives. I can't wait to get one in one of your lucky hands. Sicario is a chopper. Yeah, and a slasher too. I mean, I think this would be a good one for that kind of activity. You could also thrust with it. You'd make a pretty wide hole with it. Seth Lang says, Bob, I beg your pardon, but I believe you have a Serpico right there, not a Sicario. Serpico? Is this called a Serpico? Seth, I think you could be right. Serpico, Sicario, Serpico. I think you might be right about that. I'll have to look it up. Serpico. Yeah, that could be right. I've been saying Sicario this whole time. And if that's wrong, well, I'll have to eat my words. Terminator Joe says, my kids will also inherit my guitars. Yes, they'll be like, yeah. Man, to get guitars, knives, watches, lighters, pens, all manner of manly accoutrement. Not that guitars have to be manly, but all, men tend to like stuff things. And so, yeah, I mean, who wouldn't love to get a collection of guitars? How cool would that be? Though you do have to find a place to put them. That can be a problem. Serpico, like the movie. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Well, thanks. All right, I wanted to show you this. I got this out. I know I bring out my cold steels a lot, but this is a knife I've barely touched in quite some time, and I forgot how really awesome this is. This is the Frenzy. It's one of those 5.5-inch blades that you get in an XL cold steel, but this one is so thin it slips right in the pocket. It's awesome. I love this knife, and it's gotten a lot of second glances now that the smaller, more pocketable version has come out. Like I said, this is 5.5. They came out with a 3.5, and I like it. I've picked it up and I held it at Blade Show, but in my opinion, it's not as compelling as this. And I'm not just saying that because of the size. Something about this, I feel like all of the proportions are perfect on this. That's not to say I'm not going to get the smaller version because I may at some point, but if the handle feels blockier on that one and also thinner at the same time, so like it might be able to turn in hand, whereas this is nice and thin and flat, feels great. And yeah, this is based on a helmet breaking sword or knife, I'm sorry, from Japan. But to me, it always reminds me of a Gununting. It doesn't matter. It's hawkbill. It's got a wicked tip. And yeah, I'm just in love with this knife. I think I'm going to carry this one tomorrow. I feel like I've rediscovered it tonight. It's just sitting in my drawer with all of my cold steels, all my cold steel folders, that is. and it's sitting in plain sight, but I guess I've overlooked it for a while. So especially considering my most recent joy has been the large tie light. I've been loving that large tie light, just plain old large tie light. Serpico XL, thank you, Jim. Swamp Camo, God, that looks cool too. I do like mine better, my handle, but the Serpico it is, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you for thanks for correcting me on that. And if micarta is not your thing, or that G10 is not your thing, he does some pretty modern looking handles with these too. He did like a Raffir Noble, and he did a what do you call it? Carbon fiber. Some really cool carbon fibers that I saw at his table. Serpico, 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 Serpico. There we go. There we go. It's locked in the brain. Bob Tism says, "Oh man, I have a collection of guitars that haunt me." Oh man. Yeah, do they haunt you because they don't get played enough, or because they're big and you're worried about them? You can't put them in the shed because the humidity, or yep, that's the Cervico. Yeah, Serpico. Oh, I thought you were messing with me. Yep, damn it. Jerry C says, and everybody hit that like button for the channel. Thank you, sir. Throwing up his horns. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's hard to keep. There are a lot of names to remember. You know, I have a hard time remembering the Japanese ones. And I don't even remember what this one's called. But I do know it's from Savage Creature Defense Tools, which is a great name also. Savage being or Creature being Roger, the guy who made this, Roger Pearson's dog, cute little dog. Terminator Joe says, I got a Frenzy too, love it. It's in my waist pack. I cut a lot of fruit with it. Plus, it's in my zombie apocalypse list of folders. That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, I saw that you have that zombie apocalypse video that you mentioned last week when we were talking about that. I have to watch that video, Terminator. Scott says the Frenzy is awesome. Yeah, I agree. The Frenzy is a sweet, sweet knife. Matt Lamana says Exodus, K&T, Exodus Knife and Tool, Jacob Peterson. White River makes the steel. Jackalope is the model. Lean, slicey, fixy, easy carry, very usable. Oh, okay, nice. Exodus Knife and Tool. That's a good name. Seth Lang says, no hard feelings, I hope. Of course not. We still call ours, we can still call yours the Sicario. Not necessary, Seth. I meant it. I actually meant it when I said thank you for correcting me. Because that's the kind of thing I just would say ad nauseum for years. And thank you. Speaking of watches, Bob, wrist check. Oh yeah, let me show you. This is a Luminox automatic, kind of more of a pilot watch than, you know, they do a lot of like commando style or like Navy SEAL style watches with the rotating bezel and all that. But this with the giant numbers and the really easy to read hands, the white on black. This is more of an aviator's watch, I guess. I love this thing. This was a gift from my dad. He gave this to me. It was his watch, and he doesn't like automatics. And I guess he did not read the fine print when he bought that. And so a few years later, when he came to visit me, he was like, here, have this. And I was like, don't mind if I do. I've gotten a lot of cool watches from my dad, kind of like a hand-me-down, you know, I don't want to say cast-offs, like he's like, you take it. But, you know, watches that he bought that he just, you know, just wasn't resonating, and he's given them to me, a number of them, I'd say 4 or 5. So, but this is probably my favorite of all of them. And I haven't worn it in a while, and I've been wearing it the past few days. You know, when I set an automatic watch, especially when it has day date, I will wear it for a week or so. Not that it's too much work to set a watch, but I'll just get it going and have it be my everyday watch for a little while. Oh man, watches are rough. I got a really nice Orient. Anyone hear of Orient? They're great watches made in Japan and very, they're kind of priced like Seikos, I guess, kind of in that realm. And I got and they also come highly recommended by some watch people that I really like Teddy Baldessari. And so I got one. It's a chronograph. It's a panda, so it means like it's got a white face with black indices, or no, black dials, the little chronograph dials. But the hands are just hard to see. They're like this. I could see this out of the corner of my eye. Like if I'm in a meeting and I want to check my watch without looking at my watch, I can kind of move my watch to a place in my peripheral vision, and if it's got that kind of setup, I can read it. But this one, man, it's the one thing about this watch I don't like is that the hands are just hard to read. I have to spend like a second looking. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Maybe turn it around, have it catch some light. It's weird, but whatever. First world problems for sure. Yeah. Anyone else into watches? I guess that's a stupid question because everyone has mentioned how they have Rolexes, but me, poor me. No, not everyone, but I know that it's a well-loved timepiece, and I called it a timepiece. I hate that. Let me show you something else cool. It's kind of a cold steel kind of night. Yep, I know. I've been showing it a lot recently, but I just pulled this one out. Again, I love this thing. Highly recommend it. And that sheath, all but gone. The basement smell that was kind of heavily impregnated in that sheath. Because I did buy this on the secondary market on eBay. Got it from someone who had it still in the old box in some dungeon somewhere, and it smelled like it. But all of that has pretty much gone away at this point. But this Black Bear Classic is just such a great knife, especially if you have a thing for fighting knives. I love fighting knives, double-edged asymmetrical knives, and then give me a sub hilt every time, and I'll love it. Cheeto, nice to have you here, Cheeto Jones. Yellow Bob and Junkies. Yellow to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Orient makes cool stuff. I've had my eye on one for a while. Like the Bambino is a great one. I have 34 at the moment, though I may need to downsize first. 34 watches. That's not. I mean, I could see that. I could see me having 34 easily. Ira Hayes, Omegas, Seikos, the awesome County Com GMT. Oh, with the Miyota movement. Very nice. I like County Com. I like the watches I've seen there. Who was it? Steve Kalari had a cool pilot's watch, a County Com pilot's watch that I saw at Blade Show last year. Sweet. And the Miyota, I just know that. I don't think I have that movement in anything I have, but I've heard that mentioned a lot. It's supposed to be awesome. Bob Tism says, damn Rollies must be nice. I just enjoy my 90s Seiko Auto. Oh yeah, man, you can't beat those. I've got that's probably what I have the most of is Seikos, and I think I have five in rotation. I have an old one from the 80s that my dad gave me. It was made of titanium. It's really cool. But it's small, it's smaller. It looks more like a 90s watch. And then I have one from the 70s that I can't find, but I know it's amongst my crap somewhere. Yeah. Let's see. Northern Knife says, Jeremy Clarkson said it best. The only thing worse than a fake Rolex is a real Rolex. That's funny. That's the guy from Top Gear, right? Terminator Joe says, I usually get G-Shocks, but now I have a smartwatch. G-Shocks are awesome. I have a G-Shock-esque. It's a big Casio. It's called a Trek, Pro Trek. So it's not in the brand of, it's made by Casio, but it's not in the G-Shock brand, but it looks like a G-Shock, and You can beat the crap out of it. It's got a compass and a barometer and all this stuff I don't need but love. Craig Vincent says the Black Bear is on my short list. I would recommend, if it is, look on the secondary, see if you can get it with the leather sheath, because I think it's just cooler personally than the plastic sheath. Though the plastic sheaths work great. Cold Steel does an awesome job on their, what do they call it, Grivex sheaths, but I gotta say, with the leather, the whole package, it just looks right with the leather sheath. And it's got a sharpening stone. That one hasn't been used. Kenneth Hack. If one could make his own Rolex, I would have a plastic tote full of them, just like the one for my knives. Yeah, no kidding, man. If one could make one's own Rolex. Yeah. Yeah. I watched a repair job on the watch, on a similar chronograph to the one that was worn by Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in America, or in Hollywood, and just watching this guy take that watch apart, and it's an automatic watch. I could not believe it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Watchmaking is nuts, and to do it as a hobby is unhinged. Cool, in a cool way. Scott says, I used to buy Swiss watches. I sold them to buy blades. Now Japanese watches. I love them and nobody wants to mug me. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I don't have a Swiss watch. I need to change that. I like the Tissot's. We had Mr. Tissot here before from Watch and Cut. Alex's last name is Tissot. I have the OSS in San Mai 3. The OSS is a great blade. I have the OSS in OS 8, and it's still razor sharp. Have a Knife Day says, I've heard of the controversy of Rolex having some parts made inching but assembled in Switzerland, in China, but assembled in Switzerland. I have too, and I have not looked deeply into that. I gotta say, if they weren't tens of thousands of dollars, I'd be like, who cares? But, you know, come on. Hey, Bob, Cold Steel collection video. That Black Bear is beautiful. Yeah, I've got a couple of them, but I'm sure it needs updating at this point. Just because it's been a while, for sure. Maybe I will update. Here's another great Cold Steel, one of my more recent acquisitions, the 12-inch Tonto. Man, I had to get this. The Tonto, the regular 6-inch Tonto with the brass made in Japan, when it says Ventura, California on it, very old, from the 80s, my 87 or something, was the one that basically started my nice knife collection. And I've always wanted to update, and recently, I don't know, I'd say maybe 6 months ago at this point, so maybe not that recently, I got this, and I love this thing. This is so light. This is a really light knife. I don't know why it feels so light, but not light in a cheap way. It's so solid, but it just moves nicely, I guess is what I mean. And 12 inches, it's a big one. And I got to say, it was between this and the Warcraft. But since I had the old one, I wanted to kind of contrast it with the new one. But I do like that Warcraft Tonto. Looks really cool. Especially the one with the G10 handle, I think. They have two versions. One of them is in 3V and one of them is in like 4034. So I think the 3V one has the handle I like. It doesn't have all that contouring and stuff. Doug Bull says, Bob, I watched Iron Mistress again. Alan Ladd carried the straight spine Bowie and then had the curved clip point. Oh, probably not accurate, but enjoyed the transition. How cool. It went from a straight, almost butcher knife style to like a Musso style kind of. That sounds cool. I have not seen Iron Mistress, but I've seen pictures of it. Does that have the brass backstrap? One of them have the brass backstrap on it. for catching knives. There isn't a big enough maul for that for that ninja, says Bob Tism. Fair point, fair point. But hey, man, I mean, what are you gonna do? Not get it? Nick Bonamo, good to have you here, sir. I ordered an Espada XL, very good choice, because of this show, and it came in today. Nick, thank you, man. I'm honored to know that I influenced that amazing purchase. Wildly amused by this knife. Yeah, and you know what's great about that knife? I do not have mine out. Is that it can go the distance. It is a wildly amusing knife, but you can use it till the cows come home. I always thought that the G10 version, I'm not sure if you got the full dress one with the polished bolsters and the polished contoured G10, or if you got the straight flat G10. I always thought that that one would make a great backpacking knife in lieu of a machete, because at least the ones I have are hollow ground, so nicely thin, so you could use it for light vegetation. It folds into a it folds into an 8.5-inch handle, opens up to a 16-inch knife, and yes, base version, okay. And if you grip it with the with your trigger finger around the sub hilt at the very back, you can use that thing like a machete. It's a great, I love that knife. Northern Knives, damn, busting out the Waki. I love it. Yeah. My Wakizashi. Love this thing. It is kind of, 12 inches. It's getting there. It's getting there. And the sheath, when I first got it, the sheath had like zero retention. And then I was cooking and I had it kind of near the stove. And I think it fixed the sheath because it was kind of warmed up, softened up a little bit. And now it holds the blade perfectly. By the way, when I was talking about these sheaths, they are good if you don't like a belt loop. You can drop it in the belt, and this flare out, and this works on most cold steel knives. This flare out will keep it from dropping below your belt. So it's a good way to carry these. I prefer that to them dangling by my leg. Craig Vincent says, I wonder what percentage of the $5 Rolex I bought on the streets of New York City back in 1980 was made in China. 100, perhaps. I have a Pagani design. What do they say? Homage watch, and I became somewhat ashamed of wearing a fake Rolex, so I took the band off, the strap. I put on a leather band, and now it's slightly less of a ripoff, but it's a good watch. What can I say? Pagani, actually, they use Seiko movements, I believe. Ryan Lynch says, Bob, it's been bothering me all night. I can't place the logo on your hat. Can you remind me what it is? Well, it's not the Knife Junkie logo, that's for sure. This is the Fisher Blades logo. Fisher Blades. Actually, that's one thing I do like about this hat is that it's one of my few hats that doesn't say the word or have an illustration of a knife on it. Yeah, but Jim was reminding me before we started rolling here that I should be wearing a Knife Junkie hat, and he's absolutely right. I have an old one, which is sweet, but I need a new one, and so you can all get a Knife Junkie hat just by going to theknifejunkie.com/shop and ordering one there. But I need to do that post haste for nights like this when my hair looks like that, and I got to do this. Cliff Brot. I love that word. Sorry, I love bread. Cliff says, I've EDC'd cold steel for 20 years. Carry 6 now. Yes. Cliff, what are you carrying, man? Leon Natoyer says, hi, everyone. Leon, good to have you here, man. Doug Bowl, I believe so, but in his knife fights, he carried a Mountain Man version. Oh, okay. Yeah, much like the Forest, kind of, isn't it? Or is the Mountain Man the coffin shape with the guard without the guard? Bob Tism says Bob has a rune on his hat. Yeah. Uh, it does kind of look like a rune. You're right. Scott says the Warcraft has a fabulous handle, though on the heavy side, but the Classic is better looking in my humble opinion. Never underestimate Cold Steel. They really pull some fantastic knives out of the bag regularly. I couldn't agree with you more. Though, as I have mentioned, some of their new designs I find a little ham-fisted, but that new all-metal one is pretty damn cool. And the Mayhem, I kind of vacillate on. I think sometimes it looks a little corny, but I mean, I guess they all like this. To me, is you could say outrageously big, but it is not corny. It is a graceful, beautiful design. I do think the Mayhem is a little, well, ham-fisted. I said it, and I'll say it again. But that said, I wouldn't mind owning one. It's just the getting around to spending the money on it. That's the thing. 1931 Leatherworks. Good to have you here with us, man. Pardon me. I hope you've had a great week. Let us know what you're carrying. Mike says the Warcraft Tonto 12-inch is a beast. Yeah, that blade on that is a lot wider. I know that. The blade is a lot wider. Speaking of cold steels, let me pull this out. I love this thing. This I sometimes forget about this knife. This is the 1917 Frontier. I think I had this out a couple weeks ago. Just saw Knife Junkie coffee. Ordering now. Yes, sir. Oh, man. I love it. I love it. Get the dark roast and get a cup. You know what I want to get? I want to get a tin cup. Look at that. I love the logo, too. That's pretty cool. I want a tin cup. I want like an old school tin cup. The finest coffee source from South and Central America, which is my favorite. I love I do love South American coffee, Brazilian coffee, Costa Rica, but I also like Costa Rican coffee. Bolivian coffee is good. Central American coffee is good. I like Mexican. And like I said, I like Costa Rican. I also like Indian coffee, Mysore, Monsoon, Malabar. The coffee from India is so good, especially if it's roasted nicely. Pinkerton Knives says, Bob, since we're talking cold steel, have you heard any updates on Lynn's plans? No, I have not. Ooh, no. But I do know that he is going to, I know some of the patents are allowing him to cut loose and do some stuff. I have not. Have you? Let me know. What's the tea, as the kids say? Give me the tea. Shadow Slayer 29. Nice to have you here, Shadow Slayer. Got the SHOT Show exclusive Mini Freak in my pocket tonight. That Freak and the Mini Freak. What a great, those were great knives. Are great knives. Oh, yeah. That's my parents' coffee of choice. I prefer Tanzanian pea berry coffee. And it's called a pea berry because the berries are small and they're a little rounded, a little more rounded. We recently purchased an espresso. I have had coffee from those, and they brew very nice coffee. Like I like it so much better than, say, the K cups and stuff. Bobtism says Turkish coffee is the shit, B. I love Turkish coffee. I love Cuban coffee, too, and they're very, very similar. Dylan Mallory, how you doing, man? Howdy, everyone. It's great to have you here, sir. Wow, we have two stellar designers / makers in the chat tonight. How cool. Dylan Mallory and Dirk Pinkerton joining us. Dylan, as always, and no pressure, but I always have to say this, my invitation to you is always open. Love to have you on the show to talk about your beautiful designs and your career and stuff, or just your designs, if that's all you want to talk about. But I think your stuff is awesome, and I'd love to have you on. And you're a stand-up guy. I've met you a couple times. Met your dad, too. He was cool. So it'd be great to have you on. No pressure, but let me know. Next week, is that okay? Just kidding. Craig Vincent says, Bob, had I known I would miss the last train and end up sleeping in Bryant Park that night, I probably would have bought my first cold steel instead of a watch back then. Oh, man. Yeah, because back then you could buy a cold steel in Times Square. Just go to Roseland Martial Arts, a place I've spoken about wistfully here 100 times. And actually, Rolando Escotada remembered it. We were talking about I brought that up with him, and he remembers the woman Rose who ran the place, and it was full of knives, like good knives. Like they had every cold steel at the time, and they had a bunch of other stuff, SOGs and other stuff. And then they had in the back, they had all this cool martial arts gear and stuff. Man, that was awesome. Before that was like before after Times Square, like all the sex shops went away, but before it became Planet Hollywood and Red Lobster and ESPN store and all that stuff. Yeah, New York is one of those places that seems to follow a sine wave. Sometimes it's super dangerous and about to go commie, like now, and other times, like when I lived there, man, it was the heyday, or a heyday. It was awesome. Doug Bowl says, Bob, got a scoot. Remember, BYOB, bring your own Bowie. Doug, have an awesome night. Have a great weekend, sir. And I do have just the right Bowie to bring, and that's my Forest Bowie. Thanks again for that, as always. Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost pulling into the station on this fine evening. Mallory Dylan says, I appreciate it, Bob. It means a lot. Let me get some more fixies released in the works, and I'll feel worthy. Oh, yeah. You were worthy ages ago, but I am interested to see these fixies. I know I've seen, I can think of one that you did, I think with Artisan, that looked kind of like a Saks, sort of a camping knife, sort of a camp kitchen knife. I'm getting that right? But anyway, yeah, I can't wait to see what you come up with, man. I love your knives. I love your blade shapes. Throwing kukris, yeah, why not? I know Daniel from 411 Outdoors. He throws anything, makes it stick. So yeah, you could throw kukris. Yeah. Or the La Fontaine. Speaking of cold steel, the La Fontaine throwers, those recurve throwers, so cool looking, and they do look kind of like kukris. So yeah, you could do that. You could do that for sure. All right, before we dip out of here, I'm going to show you a couple more knives just because they're here and they're beautiful. This is one. I'm going to do a little contrast. First, the Randall 16 Special Fighter next to the very good knife company First Strike. Look at that. Two handsome clip points ready for whatever. Mostly combat, definitely with this one. This to me, now that I've had a chance to use it, is even though it's hollow ground, I know he does the full flat grind, or the nearly full. He does the high flat grind on this now because it's been requested a lot. But this, man, this knife chews through stuff. I was just noodling around with this while I was cooking dog food last week on my griddle outside, and I was hacking vines and doing feather sticks with this. I love this knife. Now I can finally say, yeah, this knife is great. I knew it looked great. I knew it cut paper well, but now I know it's like, this is an awesome knife. And I bet you could really count this as a combat knife. Maybe you would change the handle color. Craig Vincent says, I can throw my Chinese war sword and stick it. You got to throw that thing like a spear. Bob Tism, I have an amazing chrome Ninja Star stashed in the basement. God, the 80s were out of pocket. Love the 80s. Yes, the Silex with CJRB. I got one with Scorpion 6, a new one we announced at Blade Show. More coming soon. Very cool. They make such cool knives. Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, I think that just about does it for tonight. Congratulations again to Martin Gamboa, who won tonight's Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, the 3-dog knife Mac. Thanks to Mike of Northern Knives and 3-dog knife. Get that in the mail to Martin, and stay tuned next week here, Thursday Night Knives. We will have something else to give away for all comers. So be sure to join us. A way to become a Gentleman Junkie to win the extra special knives, which I know you want, is go to theknifejunkie.com/Patreon. Check us out there and see what we have to offer. and you'll be able to see knife notes. That's our newest value added thing. I don't know what to call it. Newest feature. It's a regular feature that Jim puts together, and it's either a historical article or an informational article about a certain kind of knife, and it's always cool, always very interesting. So do go check that out. All right, speaking of Jim, who's working his magic behind the switcher, for him I say goodnight to you. My name is Bob DeMarco, and just be sure that you don't take dull for an answer.